Well, welcome everyone to the Outdoor Ed Blockly meeting. For all of you that are joining in that are first years, this happens the first Wednesday of each block, and it's kind of a way to get together, give a little bit of recognition to our leaders, hear about what everyone's been up to, as well as just to kind of connect and build community. So if you're into the outdoors, I hope that's why you're here. Or if you're just kind of curious about the outdoors. We provide a lot of different opportunities to get folks outside. And, although this year will be certainly a little different, we are super psyched to do as much as we can, given the COVID times. I think we're going to show you a lot of slides of all the different things that we offer. And, just realize like not all of it will be happening tomorrow. We're going to be learning as we go, as far as how we and trainings and clinics. And we're just being good outdoor educators. We got to be flexible and nimble and figure it out as we go a little bit. So I'm Ryan. I use the pronouns he, him, his. I serve as the director of outdoor education, and I've been here at Colorado College. This is starting my 9th year here at CC. And why don't we quickly introduce the other full-time staff. David Cry, you want to take?
Yeah, hello everyone. Thanks for coming. I'm David Cry. I'm the Associate Director with Outdoor Ed. Been here for been here 5 years now, I guess. And excited to have you here. And I oversee the climbing wall, the whitewater program, the Outdoor Ed Living Learning Community. I work with them a little bit as well as the Pretty experience. So those are some of the areas that I work with.
I can go next. My name is Rachel Abler. I'm the Assistant Director. I use she, her, hers pronouns. I'm from Michigan originally, and I've been at CC for about 5 years now. And I oversee the Auburn Gear House, the Bike and Ski Co-op, our winter sports programming, and help with the facilitation of our Alberg Leadership Institute, so our trip leader training program.
Hey everyone, I'm Kate Macklin. I'm the Outdoor Ed and Rick Kellogg Memorial Fund Coordinator. This is my 2nd year at CC, so I'm pretty new here still. We'll teach you more about the Rick Kellogg Memorial Fund a little later on in this presentation, but it's a sweet opportunity to get some financial assistance to go on expeditions and get trainings and go to outdoor events that you may not usually be able to go to. And I'm from Seattle usually, but now I call Colorado Springs home.
So just really quick, we wanted to do just quick breakouts to, we're just gonna do like 5 minutes just so you can be introduced to some of the other folks in the community. We realize it's been a strange start to the school year, and you may have only met a handful of folks. So just really quick, we're going to break out into little rooms and just introduce yourself, where you hail from, and what types of outdoor activities you like to do, and what you're most excited about getting involved in Outdoor Ed this year. So it'll be pretty quick, and then we'll come all back, and we got a little slideshow for you. So sweet. Okay. Well, I hope everyone got to be introduced to a couple folks, and we had some good conversations in my group. Hope it was likewise in yours. All right. So this is just to provide a little overview of what we provide, and like I said, we're going to try to do as much as we can this year. We're outdoor educators. We're not like Zoom desk jockeys. So we want to get outside with you all as much as possible and get folks trained to lead others. And so, but we're going to take it one day at a time, y'all. So please be gracious with expectations, because we're kind of in uncharted waters. We don't have any models to go off of, so we're figuring it out as we go, but I think we've got a good plan moving forward. All right, next slide. All right, you met us. We do employ, we're one of the largest employers on campus, so you can kind of see there on the right all the different positions. We will advertise that out widely, okay? To the student listserv as well as the outdoor education listserv. If you're not on our our listserv yet. Kate will explain that at the very end here. That's how we really communicate out. We've got a social media presence as well. You should definitely, like and join and tweet and Insta and all that stuff that I don't do, but that many of you do. But mostly we really advertise through those emails. So we'll let you know when hiring is happening. All right, our mission, we're really about getting folks out, and we believe that, what we do complements your education, but also really hones in on your leadership skills, gaining a sense of stewardship, and engaging in self-discovery. And so those aren't just buzzwords to us. We take it seriously. That's what we are all about. All right, next. Learning outcomes, if you're into it, we usually have a why behind the what of what we're doing. And so once again, those are our three kind of bucket areas: leadership, stewardship, and discovery. And that's kind of our backbone of everything that we're doing. All right, next one. Inclusion statement. You all know how to read, so please give it a good read here. Essentially what we are about is creating access and for all types of people, and we really I think we really do a good job of walking the walk on this. And so if there's specific affinity groups that want to do a trip just for themselves, we do that a lot throughout the year, as well as just really trying to how can the outdoors be a medium for having everyone feel included and successful in all of their pursuits. And so you'll see that like our trips are practically free, if not most of them are free of charge. We have financial aid available. We have a lot of our equipment is free or very low prices to check out. We've got lots of ways for you to thrive, and we try to meet the whole spectrum of folks just first starting and are curious about the outdoors, to folks that are really ambitious and experienced, and we want to develop them as well. So, and everything in between. All right, was I covering this one as well? All right. So I already mentioned the financial aid. We do a number of different things as well, like international trips. David will touch on the Bridge Scholar Leadership Development Program. And then I kind of mentioned the custom trips as well. Facilities, I think that was
That's me.
Rachel.
All right, y'all. So at CC, we are so lucky to have such fantastic, our program in general, but on-campus facilities are really amazing. The Outdoor Education Center, the Auburn Gear House, Bike and Ski Co-op, the Brit Climbing Gym, as well as our pool sessions that I'll run through a little bit more on the next couple slides here. So the Auburn Gear House is located on the backside of the Outdoor Education Center on East Campus. And it's that go-to place if you need equipment to get outdoors, be it for personal trips, if you're taking a class that is going to do field-based work, or if you're going on a trip with our program, we can help get you set up with the equipment that you need to get outside. Low or no cost for all of our items, and all sorts of different activities and disciplines. The Bike and Ski Co-op is part of that same building, but on the front side, if you will, of the Outdoor Education Center. And this is a student workspace to fix, maintain your bikes and ski equipment. You don't even need to have a bike. If you like to tinker and play with tools and work on new skills, we have some fantastic student mechanics that love to teach. It is an educational space, so when you come by, our goal is to help teach you the skills you need to maintain your equipment. Kayak pool sessions and roll sessions. So we will see about when the pool is going to reopen for us to do these sessions. But if you're interested in learning paddling, specifically with hard boats, whitewater paddling, you can get comfortable paddling around in the pool before you go out on water. And then there's a skill, it's called a roll, so that if you're paddling in whitewater, instead of having to pop out of the boat, you can learn how to maneuver your body so that you can flip yourself right side up again. Folks really love those sessions when we have them. And the Rick Kellogg Climbing Gym is in the El Pomar Fitness Center. And it is, I mean, a really amazing space. A lot of colleges, universities, if they have a climbing gym, it's a fraction of the size. This is a great space for bouldering, top rope climbing, lead climbing, training area. We host different clinics for Women Identifying Wednesdays, all sorts of climbing clinics if you want to transition to climbing from indoors to outdoors, movement, different types of skill sets. So these are all great spaces that we have. We are looking to reopen all of our facilities by mid to late block 2, if not before. If we're able to before, we will, but realistically, mid to late block 2. All of our spaces are run by student staff, and our student staff are all returning students. So we do need to wait for them to return to campus for these spaces to be able to operate. So we would love to be open, but I'm sure you all understand the reason why we're not able to quite yet. And then the Auburn Leadership Institute. This is kind of the bread and butter of our program. It's a way that we provide leadership training opportunities for students, by students, mentorship, develop different certifications and skill sets. And these are things that, of course, help you if you enjoy the outdoors, but these are incredibly transferable to leadership positions you may have in school or clubs, or even, of course, your time beyond CC. So the next slide here, we have a little chart to help you kind of think through what does ALI entail. So depending on what it is that you want to do, you can lead trips. That's kind of that first column. If you want to gain certifications, there's that second column. Or you're really excited to just develop a variety of different skills. And the next couple of slides will dive a little bit deeper into those areas. So for leading trips, every student that wants to be a trip leader for our program starts with our assistant leader training. We offer in a few different formats. Traditionally, it's been a weekend training held at the CC cabin or held on campus. Over the summer, we've worked to make it an online course. For block 1, we're going to try and do a hybrid of online and in person. So we're still fine-tuning exactly what that'll look like, but that'll happen over the course of 3rd week of this block. So if that's something you're interested in, it's probably going to be 1 to 3 hours most days of that week, and then a Sunday half-day in-person session. So you will be required to attend every element of that training for you to get credit for it. If you're not able to, we will host more in the future. So that's kind of that first step to leading any type of trip within our program. And then we have additional trainings that enable you to lead more specific style trips. So assistant leader, you can lead day hikes, or you can pair up with students that have additional training. If you want to be able to lead overnight camping trips or backpacking trips, we have training specific for that. And then our endorsements are the various different disciplines: mountain biking, stand-up paddleboarding, backcountry skiing. And we break it up this way so that we can, the first training, really focus on leadership development, group management, and our policy procedures to help ensure that everyone is taken care of. And then you kind of a la carte the other trainings so that you're learning the skills specific to the types of trips that you want to lead. Our certifications, that's kind of that second column that I talked about in ALI. We work with nationally recognized organizations for rock climbing, for wilderness medicine, for paddling sports, for backcountry skiing, and then for first aid CPR. So you can see all the different trainings that we have listed here. Traditionally, we've had certain time periods that these trainings have been held. We recognize that there might need to be some adjustments as far as how they're offered and when they're offered. So join the listserv. We will communicate out once we have those finalized. There's still a lot of moving pieces in motion, but we do plan to offer the majority of what you see here this year. And skill development clinic, so that's kind of that third column that I was mentioning. And we love the outdoors. We want to help you be prepared so that you can go out and enjoy the outdoors as well, be it on your own or with us in our programming. And so we offer clinics both on campus, off campus, and online. That's kind of newer for us this year, is doing more of the clinics online. And you can see the list here of the different types of clinics that we've offered in the past. What's really cool about our program in general regarding trips, trainings, and clinics is that we want to offer what it is that you want to learn. If there's something that you're excited to learn and you don't see it promoted, contact one of us. We'll put a clinic together. We'll put a trip together. We want to make it so that you're able to develop what it is that you want to do so you can be successful in your outdoor ventures. And I think David's up.
All right. Yeah, so trips, outdoor trips are obviously a huge part of our program as well. Our Auburn Leadership Institute is really designed to help get students the skills needed to lead trips, and starting with that assistant leader training is kind of the best place to get started. And our program is pretty much entirely student-led and student-run. And so that enables us to lead a lot of trips throughout the year, including Pretty. We usually lead over 200 trips a year that go out from our doors. And so that's pretty impressive for a college our size. That's awesome. This year, obviously, we're not sure what that's going to look like, but trips are going to be kind of shorter in duration and stuff to start. But we'll be offering as many trips as we can. And especially as our student leaders come back, and as hopefully you all get trained as well, so you can lead some trips. But our trips program is really anything and everything that you want to do, we will offer, or at least we'll try to offer. And so hiking, car camping, backpacking, you guys kind of see the list of all trips that we lead on a regular basis, or some of them that are a little bit more specific, might be a block break or a spring break, something like that, like canyoneering. We'll be going somewhere further away to do that. But we do day trips, afternoon trips, overnight, block break, spring break, etc. We really kind of have the whole gamut. And again, our goal is to get people outside, trying something new, meeting other people, and just having a lot of fun and taking advantage of this great place that we have in Colorado, but also beyond into the West as well. Pretty experience. So you all, any first years on here, just did our very first ever virtual Pretty program, and so that was kind of something new this year, so congratulations on that. Thanks for doing that with us. The Pretty program is usually is an off-campus trip for all incoming students. This year, as you all know, we kind of turned it into a virtual experience, and we're hoping to offer some in-person trips over block break coming up in a couple weeks, and so look for registration for that coming soon. But the Pretty experience is, really an amazing thing that we offer here at CC, to kind of bring every incoming student in on a unique, similar experience that hopefully helps really, bring you into the community at Colorado College, learn about life at CC, and help make connections. And so that's really our main goals, and we use the outdoors to do that. This year we use Zoom, and we use great leaders to help connect that and build that. We do need a lot of leaders for that as well. So become leader certified. Hopefully in the future we're able to step away from that virtual orientation experience and get back to an in-person experience as best that we can. Next slide, Kate, thanks. International trips. We've been sending trips internationally for a couple of years now. We've gone to Colombia, Iceland, Peru, and Costa Rica. We were going to go to France and Ecuador this past summer, but with COVID, that obviously got canceled. But our international program is really just another avenue to get away and to do something amazing and unique and special. Most of our international trips so far have been over spring break or in the summertime. Just from the longevity standpoint, it's kind of hard to, not quite worth a couple days of travel on either end to go for 3 days during a shorter block break or something. That doesn't quite make sense to go international. So usually they're summer or spring break as well. But look for that. Our Brit Scholar Leadership Development Program I think is one of our really great examples of us, walking the walk and talking the talk of diversity, equity, inclusion, and making sure that our program is doing what we can to break down barriers to participation and really diversify our program. This program has been going on for 4 years now, and it works specifically with Brit Scholar students, and where we provide basically an adjunct course that meets all spring semester, and they go through leader training through the Auburn Leadership Institute. We also do a spring break international trip, and so we've gone to Colombia twice, and we've gone to Costa Rica as well. And so just a really great program that really focuses on a really important cohort at CC called the Brit Scholar Program, to help diversify our leader pool, as well as help, and give some confidence and encourage our Brit Scholars to become involved in our program and as a leader on campus. And so really fun program, really great program that we have. We are obviously looking at what it's going to look like this year. So far CC has not opened up international travel yet, and so we're still trying to figure out what our international trips will be, as well as what the Brit Scholar Leadership Development Program will be as well. So more information will be coming on those things soon. And then Kate, I think you're up.
Awesome, thanks, y'all. So the Rick Kellogg Memorial Fund is a funding source available exclusively to CC students to apply for financial support to go on personal expeditions, to get additional training, and to participate in outdoor events they usually wouldn't participate in. This year, as David said, international trips are on hold, and we're not sure what Rick Kellogg expeditions will look like this year, if we'll be able to have them or not. So it's a big TBD on this first box here. But traditionally, students will go on multi-week expeditions with at least one other CC student in the US and Canada. And people have gone to some pretty amazing places, backpacking up in Alaska or pack rafting, all sorts of places. People have done the Colorado Trail. They've done all sorts of through hikes, climbing trips to remote locations. Pretty spectacular what folks have done. So if that interests you, start thinking about what you want to do and when you want to do it, and hopefully we'll get those running. Education grants. Students can apply for funding to take an outside skill training. This might be like taking a single pitch instructor course, an airy avalanche course, maybe swiftwater rescue, anything like that. And those are up and running right now. The application's up in Summit. So if you want to go get some skills in whatever it is that you want to do, fill out an application. And I believe we're funding up to 75% of those this year. There's more information on Summit. Growth grants are similar to education grants, but are focused more on engaging a wider variety of audiences and a wider variety of outdoor recreation community events. So these are less technical skilled trainings and more for events like Color the Crag, LGBTQ Outdoor Summit, workshops with like outdoor diversity specialist people. And again, those are also available right now. Applications are accepted throughout the year, and you can find those and more information on Summit. So pretty sweet opportunities to essentially get free money to do cool things in the outdoors. So highly recommend you all look into those and take advantage of them, because no other school in anywhere has this. This is why, if I'd known about this, I would have come to CC for my undergraduate career. So as Ryan said earlier, it's going to be a different year than we're used to, and we're still figuring out what that's going to look like for us, but we're excited to bring you a wide variety of offerings and trips and clinics and events. As Rachel said before, our facilities, we're hoping to open in Block 2 sometime with some adjusted procedures, adjusted hours, and occupancy. So as those facilities reopen, we'll be sharing that information with the community. The best way to get that information is to join the Listserv, which I'll tell you how to do in a few minutes. Our trips are going to be either free or very minimal cost. We're not able to travel in 12-passenger vans to our sites like we usually would. So we're shifting the focus of our trips and our locations to be a little bit closer to home. so that we can either walk to trip locations or bike there. In block 2, we'll have some pedal assist bicycles that we'll have access to, so we can expand that range a little bit. And those that don't have a bicycle can borrow one of those to help get them to the trip in town. For trips that are a little bit further away, we'll be using, every once in a while, we'll be using large 45 passenger buses that we'll put a whopping 10 people into and a bunch of equipment below. So that'll be a unique way for us to travel. We're pretty excited about it. We'll be focusing more on day trips because of ability to get there easily. And we'll have some overnight trips, but they'll be much closer, shorter in duration. And the way that we do shelters and group meals will be altered to keep you all as safe as we can. Our group size is about 10 max, which is a little bit smaller than usual, but not too far off from our typical group size when going out. We'll have a little bit more of an intimate experience, which will be wonderful. We'll also be focusing on a lot more on-campus clinics and workshops. We've got a bunch already up on Summit ready to go for Block 1, as well as a series of virtual workshops and programming as well. Speaking of, here are things we have coming up in Block 1. We have a jam-packed block. It's pretty amazing, all the stuff we've got going on. And most of it, you could do a different outdoor ed activity every day of the week and do something different every one of those days. So this very first week, today at 2 p.m., we've got a route finding virtual clinic. Rachel tomorrow is taking folks on a geocaching hike to Monument Valley Park, which is the park that runs along the west side of campus. We've got a climber meet and greet on Thursday. So if you are a climber or you want to get into climbing, or you're like, wow, I have no idea what that is, but it sounds pretty cool, show up to that and meet some other people, build connections, and then you might have friends to go climbing with. And then Friday is another clinic, Packs and Packing. So you'll see in this list a thing called Backcountry Foundations. That's a series of clinics we're running this block to give you all the skills to be able to plan and execute your very own backpacking remote trip. So if you want to get into backpacking or want to brush up on some skills, you can attend as many of those as excite you to give you those skills that you need. Week 2, we've got more of those Backcountry Foundations clinics, intro to mountain biking on Monday, intro to knots, hitches, and gear on Tuesday, a fly fishing meet and greet. So yeah, if you're a fly fisher or you want to get into fly fishing or you really like fish, meet some other people that do the same. We'll go supping, stand-up paddleboarding up on Monument Lake, north of town. We'll take a bus up there with Rachel on Wednesday of next week. Paddlers meet and greet on Thursday. So if you're a kayaker or a rafter or a canoeer or a paddleboarder, or you just love being on rivers or in the ocean, show up to that and meet other like-minded folks who are psyched about being on the water. Setting and cleaning sport climbing anchors on Friday, and then we're gonna bike to Red Rocks Park on Friday to then climb at Red Rocks Park. So the ultimate multi-sport adventure day on Friday. The second half of the first block, we've got more of those Backcountry Foundations clinics, intro to climbing acres, biking at Bear Creek Park, some tips and tricks for the multi-pitch climber, and then week 3 is gonna be our virtual assistant leader training, and then that Sunday will be our in-person day. And then block break for our first year students, we're planning on a series of in-person pretty activities. And if any of you on this call are returning students, and you will not be leading pretty and you're looking for something to do, we'll be doing a couple overnights at Cheyenne Mountain State Park, just south of town, with some camping and hiking for you. All these trips can be found on the Outdoor Ed Summit page, where you can learn more about each of them in a little description and sign up. The best way to be able to join or to get information about Outdoor Ed and stay up to date is to join our Listserv. And you can do that from our website. If you go to the Outdoor Education website right here, scroll on down to the bottom, under facility hours, we say we're closed until block 2, will be posted when the facilities reopen. Right down here, to join our email list and get program updates sent directly to your inbox, fill out this form and get psyched. Because it's a really easy form. All you have to do is put your email in and we'll add you to the list. But that's the best way to get information from us and stay up to date. So you can know what's going on and what's being held, and maybe we'll do a spur of the moment whatever, and we'll market it through the listserv. So make sure you get on that if you aren't already. And if any of your friends were not able to make this meeting, we'll be sending out a recording of it to the listserv later this week, so they can access that there.
We also want to do a plug for our social media for Instagram, Facebook primarily. cc.outdoored is our go-to for those accounts, as Kate's pulling up here for us now. And yeah, we've got some fun Instagram TV things lined up. We'll promote our trips, other fun outdoor things that maybe you should check out. We will promote here as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Rachel. Anybody have any questions about anything at all? Feel free to unmute yourself and let us know.
Yeah, I got one. I was looking on Summit just now, and I can only find some of those trips, but not all of them that you had mentioned. Is there a specific way to find a comprehensive list of all that?
I'd say that we have planned that those are happening those days. We are in the works of putting them up into Summit. So
Okay.
apologies that those are not all yet there reflected. We wanted to make sure that we had the time slots available in our personal calendar, and between now and the end of the week, we should have the rest of those all put into Summit.
All right, Roger. Thank you.
Yep.
Feel free to type questions like Rachel just said, but don't be shy as well. If things come up as you leave here, if a question comes up, email our Outdoor Ed email account, outdoored@coloradocollege.edu. Great place. We'll respond to that. We have interns who are doing that, watching that as well. But we're always available. So if you have questions, concerns, you're just not sure about what we just talked about, and you're like, ALI, wow, what is that? How do I really get involved? Come talk to us. We can make Zoom calls very easily, and so we even if you're stuck in Loomis, I know Alex, you are in quarantine right now, we can still meet with you and tell you what we have available for you. Also, just get you really pumped for what we have coming up. But we're here to help you out. So don't be shy. You can email any of us. Email the Outdoor Ed account and just say, hey, can I talk with somebody? I'd love to meet up. We're also we're kind of working in the office and remote as well, but we're pretty much always having at least one person in the office for most of the day, and so don't be afraid to come by. Our door is locked, but you can give it a knock. We'll come and say hi, and we can meet outside if the weather's nice and things like that. But at least we can talk in person a little bit too when someone's around. But the virtual thing is also a great option right now too, so don't be shy.
And I would just say, echo what David said, that the offer, if it's just for your own personal trips or ways to get out, please do hit us up. We're not just about the organized trips and trainings and stuff. Like if you're just like, hey, I just need a trail, how do I go about doing this? How do I get there? That kind of a thing. We're here for you for all the different activities as well. So go ahead.
I had a quick question about the events that are happening in the next few, like this week and next week. One, are the Zoom links for like the backcountry training this afternoon or any of those other ones, are those going to come out during the list from the listserv? Sorry, or where are those coming out?
I can answer that one. So when you register for an event on Summit, you will be provided, there'll be instructions in that event for how you'll get that link. Generally, it'll either be included when you register, or it will be sent out to you the morning of the clinic, based on whichever one of us is running them. That's our preference. But if you need to register for that clinic on Summit, and then that will get sent to you.
Awesome. And my second question, the meet and greets, like the fly fishing meet and greet next week, are those over Zoom or are those in person?
That'll be over Zoom. I think there's a lot of folks that like to fly fish, so we got to keep our group sizes under 10. So yeah, so we'll be zooming it up.
Awesome,
But
thank you.
that could just be a springboard conversation, right? You can meet some folks on there that are excited about the same activities that you are, and then that's your opportunity to get with small groups of folks and go do those activities on your own. Or realize that you all want something, or that's such a training or whatever, and let us know, and we'll do our best to provide that for you also.
And on that note about doing things kind of on your own locally, I held a workshop yesterday, which was Colorado Springs Find Your Own Adventure. And for most of the clinics that we'll run, we'll do our best to record them and then try to shorten them a little bit and put them up on our YouTube channel so that you can still reference it. Of course, we would prefer to have you come in person. We love to interact. We don't want to just look at a blank screen, but please feel free to go back, check out our YouTube page as well to get some additional information if there's sessions or other things you weren't able to attend in person.
Is the pretty trips that you guys are planning to offer over the block 1 break, is that gonna be connected with the same group that we did the online stuff with, or will that be something different?
A great question. We're currently, there's so many, a lot of changes in our students and our student leaders. So we're currently trying to figure out how many student leaders we have that can commit and still work. We had a lot of virtual NSO leaders as well. And so we know that we're not going to be able to keep all the leaders with their pretty groups specifically, but we're going to try. It kind of depends on how that goes about, how it all kind of comes together. So we are going to try, if it also depends, it'll be a registration for you all as well. So it's not a required pretty experience for everyone or anything like that, but it's for those that want to. We're going to try to provide as many opportunities as we can for those 3 days. And so more information will be coming. We're currently closing out our leader application so that we have committed leaders and we know exactly what that number is, and that'll change kind of how the structure of that weekend goes, if that makes sense. So sorry we can't add more details yet, but it's kind of an odd year, and so there's lots of unknowns and people changing if they're on campus or not, and so we're kind of trying to nail that down with our leaders before we go public with what exactly it'll look like. But that'll hopefully by Monday, we'll have an application out for Trippies for you all.
Cool, thank you.
Yep.
One follow-up on that pretty question. As far as those pretty trips go, I was looking at the requirements to get in as a trip leader or assistant trip leader with the outdoor ed program, and it was saying that you need to go on 2 outdoor ed trips before you could get into that. Does the pretty trip count as one of those?
Yeah, great question. Yes, usually the pretty trip is everyone's first outdoor ed experience for sure. If the virtual program counts or not, we haven't really talked about that. For that, usually the idea is that why we have that requirement to become an assistant leader is that we want people to kind of be familiar with our goals and how we run our program and how we run our trips. And so the virtual pretty program probably won't count as one of those in-person experiences, but any of our other trips, whether it's a day trip, doesn't have to be a certain length. So if you go on an afternoon hike with us, that counts as an experience with outdoor education.
To expand on that, what Douglas was just referencing is the requirements to become a certified assistant leader. So taking the assistant leader training is one of those requirements. Having some sort of a medical certification, such as CPR first aid or anything higher, and then also participating on 2 in-person outdoor trips of any length with outdoor education Having those elements together enables you to apply to be a leader. That way you have kind of that full rounded picture to help enable you to step into that role.
And when will be the first one of those leader trainings that you're talking about? When is that going to happen?
Our first one is going to be third week of this block. It's going to be a hybrid. Nope, I see you're remembering that we talked about it. That's okay. But I do want to mention again that before the end of this week, we will have that registration open in Summit. The cool thing about it being virtual, a hybrid, is that we're going to be able to accept more students into that training than we normally would if it was held in person. So be on the lookout for that, but it will be, plan on having, if you want to take it, plan on having your third week afternoons fairly open at the moment. We don't have exactly the dates and the times of each of those sessions, but it will be multiple days throughout third week and then a half day third Sunday. So we will have more information. We'll put it on the listserv and we'll let you know once that's finalized, but it should be available for you to register for before the end of this week.
And is that something that would be available in some future block as well if we can't do it this block?
Great question. Yes, absolutely. Traditionally, we've held this training between 6 and 8 times throughout the year. So we'll continue to adapt how we offer it based on current, I guess, permissions as far as what we're able to do. But we will for sure be offering it multiple times throughout the year.
Follow-on question to that. I know historically you guys have run a woofer during J Block. Is that looking like it's going to happen this year?
We're working with our with the wilderness first responder. Woofer is the wilderness first responder. We're working with our providers currently to learn what offerings they allow, be it hybrid, online, in person, and then we have to compare that with the academic calendar. Given that the calendar traditionally half block has been less academic classes all at once, and now with how they rearrange the schedule a bit with adding J block, we just need to be sure that we're offering those trainings at times that are most appropriate. We're also looking into adding it over spring break and or at the beginning of summer as well, because traditionally we've held courses so that 90 students could take it all at once. That's not feasible this year. We recognize that, but we still want to be able to meet the demand to the best of our ability. So to be determined, but hopefully we are during that winter block, half block, J block timeframe. Great questions, y'all. These are awesome. What else you got for us? A quick shout out to some of our returning students. I see some of our certified leaders here in the space as well. Thanks for joining on. If y'all have anything you want to say, welcome the new folks. Don't want to put you on the spot, but you are welcome to give a little shout out, maybe why you like Outdoor Ed, what you're hoping for this year as well.
I just want to share for those that are new. As Ryan said, we hold these meetings the first Wednesday of every block. Generally, the first one, we do an overview so that all new students understand who we are and what we have to offer and how you can get involved. And then the meetings from here on out, we try to provide program updates as well, and like how to get involved, new things that are coming up, upcoming trainings, as well as provide some sort of educational training so that you get some new skill or a skill refresher, something to add to your outdoor recreation toolkit from each of these. So that's what you can expect from the meetings from here on out. And thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you at the next Zoom or in our in-person clinics.
Yeah, be well, folks.
Thank you, guys.
Sign up for trips,
you.
sign up for clinics. See you soon.
Thank you.